Well, in the last video we looked at the doors of our house. Today we're looking at the windows and how you can stop Burglar Bill from getting a leg through. Welcome to Grey Matters on Location. Hello and welcome to Grey Matters, the channel that promotes the fact the older generation still matters and still has relevance. And of course we also look at issues that matter to the older generation. Don't forget please to like and subscribe and ring that bell if you want to stay notified of future content. Now, in the last video we were looking at the doors of your house, the locks and of course those dreaded sliding patio doors. Today we're going to be looking at the windows. The PVCU windows are basically the same as the doors. Come with a multi-point locking system and chute bolts at the top as well. The more points that they lock in the frame, the better, and it reduces the opportunity of flexibility which the burglars will exploit. Now, double glazing. Will they break it? Yes, they will sometimes, but they don't like breaking glass. The problem with breaking glass is that people hear it, they notice it, they might not react to it, but they will remember it later. When the police come knocking on the door and say, next door was burgled, did you hear anything unusual? And they say, oh yeah, 3:10 I heard some glass smashing, but I thought it was just something happening at the house. They will ignore thumps and they will ignore bangs, so if they're forcing a window or barging a door, neighbours won't respond to that at all. But it doesn't mean to say it doesn't happen. The more isolated the house is, the more risk there is they'll throw a flower pot or something through the window. But they don't like breaking glass. They're now very forensic aware, and they know if they cut themselves, climb through a broken window, the police are going to grab that blood and check it on the DNA databases. And they don't want that. Now there are a number of ways that PVCU windows can be breached by the burglars. The most common, of course, just getting something into between the frame and the opener and forcing it open, because if the locks aren't good enough and there's a flexibility, it's just going to spring apart. They will sometimes try and remove the glass if the beading that holds it in is on the outside. It's always best, if you can, to have a design where the beading is on the inside. Now there are ways that it can be breached too, which I don't intend to reveal here. Don't want to give away the secrets, but generally it's a much safer way. If you're going to have beading on the outside, as with these windows, then it needs to be bonded in place. All right, most secure by design windows will have it bonded, and that way if they try and force that out, it will just break off in little pieces, and it takes far too long to try and get that out. And it's better really to have a bit of damage to the window than to have them get in and steal all your possessions. So we mentioned the chute bolts, and the importance for those is that by holding it into the top and bottom of the frame, if they apply force in just that one direction, you've got those providing a counterforce that will help to stop that opening up. You will find quite often that windows have got hinge bolts on the inside, and very squeaky window, and those hinge bolts will hold the casement into the frame, so that if they try and attack it from that side, it's going to be a lot harder to do so. Now, I don't have any wooden windows to show you, but I can talk you through some of the items that you need to think about with wooden windows. Again, very little flexibility in a wooden window, and many of them now will come with multi-point locking, so you've got the best of both worlds there. If you've only got a basic handle that goes latch over the frame, you will need more locks on your windows. Now, I'm a great believer that security should live with you, not you live with the security. If your security is too onerous, too difficult to use, too fiddly, you won't use it. It's human nature. There's no point in spending the money on something that you're not going to use. So when you look for window locks, try and find the easiest type to use, and generally those will be push button locks. You know, there are some where you flip a little catch over and you have a little grub screw and a key that you stand there turning for ages and ages and ages doing it up, you tend not to use that sort. But a push button lock has a bigger key, it's half a turn or quarter of a turn, the button pops out, you open the window. And some of those push button locks even come with an automatic version, so you shut the window's locked, and you just need the key, quarter turn, to open it again. Go for that type of thing, make your life easier. Now sash windows, oh, what a pain they are, because one of the most common ways burglars get into those is just to put something along the groove between the two windows to flip the catch over. You definitely need additional locks if you've got sash windows. Barrel bolts are the most common, but you can have surface mounted locks as well. And sometimes now modern ones come with additional locks already built in. You can also put battens of wood in the side runners to stop the lower window being lifted. There are things you can do, so please look at those windows, look at the products on offer, look at some shortcuts like some battens of wood and see what will suit you best. But you do need security on sash windows. Now if you have lead light windows, then I'm afraid there's very little I can suggest to you that's going to make them more secure. I think you may need to take a step back to the next layer of security, which would be an intruder alarm, and we'll look at those in more depth in the next video, and that's quite an important video, so do tune in for that one please. Now I did say I would mention Secured by Design. It's a home office initiative that has now become an industry standard for things from complete housing estate designs down to individual components such as doors and windows, to automotive security parts, caravan spare parts, safes, computers, anything that is a security product can apply to be Secured by Design accredited. And that means they are, for one thing, attack tested to destruction. They have to withstand the industry standard of a 3-minute attack, which I mentioned in a previous video. Doesn't sound long, but it actually is. And most of these will withstand a huge amount more than just that 3 minutes. Now, it does make the products more expensive, but if you can find any lock, any window, any door, or any other product with SBD on it, snap it up, because you know you're getting the best possible security that there is. Now, one of the issues we've had with locks on doors is key snapping, and it happens on these type of locks. Now, the more that type of lock sticks out, the more risk there is of having it snapped. There are other ways, and I won't reveal now, where burglars can snap the locks even when they're fairly well concealed in there. You do need to get, to prevent that, a snap resistant lock, and TS007 is the standard you really want to look for. 3-star locks, they will withstand most lock snaps, and the way it works is that they already have breakpoints within the construction of the lock, so when they snap the lock it breaks off at a predetermined place, but it means the lock is still usable by you when you come up with your key. It just hasn't done the burglar any good. So do make sure that you find that type of lock. Well, I think that just about wraps up this basic home security video. I hope you found it useful. Do please leave comments if you want to discuss anything, or if you've got any questions. And don't forget, the more questions we get, the more people we can help, and we can put together a video perhaps of the most common questions that we get. And we see you in the next one, where we will be looking at intruder alarms and how you can protect your actual possessions in your home. Thanks for joining us. See you next time. Bye for now. Now, in the last video we looked at the doors of your house. We looked at the various locks that are available, and we looked at those dreaded sliding patio doors. Today we're looking at the windows. Welcome. Oh no, I've got that wrong, didn't I? Well, you may remember the last video we were looking at the doors in your house. Well, in the last video we were looking at the doors of your house, the locks and the ways of securing them, and of course those dreaded sliding patio doors. Today we're looking at the windows. I forgot the intro. Well, you may remember in the... It's going to be one of those days.
Hello.
You know you're going to be on YouTube now.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you are?
Oh, no.
Oh, yes, you are. You are so going to be on YouTube.